Nkobile, good morning. What's happening there at the moment?
Well, Stephen, where we are currently, you'll note that the gate is currently open, but it's not just open. You've got members of the March on March that are also around here, just ensuring that whoever comes in does have the documentation. Just further down, you'll note, just down there's a lady that's sitting there. We did ask to speak to her, Stephen. She's from Congo. She says she generally comes here to get her medication, but she did ask that she wouldn't like to speak to us on camera, citing that she's waiting for someone to come and fetch her. But she basically was trying to get medication. We also saw a lady from Zimbabwe as well who also came here and said she was looking for bandages. And the March on March group just told her that she needs to go buy those bandages and that they won't be able to come in. So we also saw the police trying to open the gate for people to just come in, where we saw a bit of a squabble. And I'm going to bring in the March on March person to speak to us, Nozi, especially about what we saw with the police, because I think the police were saying that everybody has a right to come in, and you guys were disagreeing on that.
No, the police came here to open the gate, so they've been sent to put in the illegal immigrant inside. Everyone has a right to get the medication. So we said, no, we cannot work like that. Yeah, it was a battle between us and the subs.
On what grounds did you say you cannot do that? I mean, police are supposed to be respected.
No, the police don't know the law of this country, so I don't understand when they force us. They say they came here to arrest us. So we've asked, so you prefer to arrest us, the citizens, over the illegal immigrants? I just asked them one question. I think I've defeated them with that question. What does the word illegally mean to them? Because as far as I know, illegal means crime. So they prefer to arrest us, the citizens. So they told us, no, they've been sent from the offices to do their duty to arrest us. So we have refused to do that.
You blocking the gate, what do you think it helps with?
It helps with resources, medication, everything, the time. I mean, you'll find there's 200 patients, only to find out there's only 5 South African patients. So it helps. It helps a lot, especially in terms of time. People, they sit here for the whole day. Now people, they get assistance. By 8 o'clock, they're done. 10 o'clock, they're done. The clinic is empty, as you see now. It's getting empty.
And amaphilisi sebewathola wonke akusekho amaphilisi ashodayo okuthi bayawathenge ema-pharmacy.
Yeah.
I want to bring you in. So you came here to get your medication, and ubusasichazela i-service isihluke kangakanani ke ngoba kwenzeka lokho kwenzakalayo njengomuntu ojwayele ukuthi akwazi ukuza la eclinical uzothatha amaphilisi.
Yes, it's been 3 years since I've been attending this clinic, and I can tell you the service is much better. As my sister says, I came in around 8:30. Look, I was done in like 30 minutes ago. Usually the queue is still at that side. And mele umuntu umeza la uze nomntwana omncane 6 o'clock uzofola so that at least uzophuma by 2. Failure to do that, banokuvala la clinic inabonesi bakhathele. You have to turn back and uzame futhi the following day ukuthi ube number 1. Still masowutholile ukuthi uyangena ngaphakathi, there's no medication. You see, my sister, they are failing us ukuthi ba-administrate or bahlukanise between legal and illegal, as they want to arrest our sister bethu right now. Mina ngilitholile incedo as a citizen, I'm happy. I can go do my errands right now. I can continue with my day. Rather than taking the whole day off at work, you see, I can still go to work and say, I want to collect my medication and still what? I didn't lose anything.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, Stephen, depending on who you speak to, like if you speak to March on March tells us that this is assisting in terms of resources, especially in getting some of the tablets for the people that are in the clinic or requiring help. But whilst you speak to South Africans who have come in, say the shorter queues, but if you speak to those that are requiring help, they're saying that they've been here, they're waiting for that assistance. like that lady from Congo and the other lady from Zimbabwe also getting frustrated because they're still looking for that health care. And we know that in this country, everybody has a right to receiving health. And so it depends who you speak to. Where we are currently, each person is affected completely different. But we know that at the moment, the March on March group.
It started with a gate, locked, chained, and guarded by members of the March on March movement. But what unfolded in Rosettenville has become one of the most tense and polarizing flashpoints in South Africa's ongoing debate over immigration, public services, and national identity. According to the March on March movement, what happened wasn't just a protest. It was, in their words, a battle. A direct confrontation between citizens demanding prioritization and police officers sent to reopen the gates of a public clinic. Gates that had been deliberately shut to block foreign nationals from receiving treatment. Their message, clear: only South African ID holders should access public health care. Anything else, they argue, is an insult to citizens struggling to get help in their own country. But when the police arrived to enforce access for all, regardless of nationality, tensions boiled over. The standoff in Rosettenville wasn't random. It's the culmination of years of frustration. Clinics overwhelmed, hospitals packed, and a growing sentiment among some South Africans that they are being sidelined in favor of undocumented foreigners. Right or wrong, this is the lived reality fueling the actions of groups like March on March. But here's where it gets messy. The Constitution of South Africa is crystal clear: access to basic healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Denying someone medical treatment based on their nationality or immigration status crosses a legal and ethical line. And that's exactly why law enforcement had to intervene. Now, depending on who you ask, the confrontation at the clinic was either a brave act of defiance or an unlawful blockade that endangered lives. Videos from the scene show scuffles, shouting, and police trying to maintain order. Supporters of the movement claim they were defending South African dignity. Critics say they were inciting violence and discrimination. This situation raises serious questions. First, what is the role of protest in a democracy when public services are at stake? Second, how does the state balance human rights with real resource constraints? And finally, what happens when civil unrest is fueled by policy failure? It's no secret that South Africa's healthcare system is under strain. Years of mismanagement, corruption, and underfunding have created long queues, medicine shortages, and exhausted staff. The influx of undocumented migrants into urban areas like Johannesburg only compounds the pressure. But is locking people out of clinics the answer? Is confrontation with police really the solution? March on March says yes, if that's what it takes to force the government to act. They claim they're simply doing what leaders refuse to, putting South Africans first. They're calling for a system overhaul, stricter immigration enforcement, proof of legal residency at all clinics, and prioritization of citizens in all public services. But the question remains, where do we draw the line? Today it's a clinic, tomorrow, a school, a food relief center. Human rights organizations have already raised alarm. The South African Human Rights Commission has called this kind of action dangerous and unlawful. Healthcare workers at the clinic say they were caught in the crossfire, some intimidated, others unable to perform their duties. Minister of Health and local government leaders have remained cautious in their response, calling for calm and urging citizens to report grievances through formal channels. But on the ground, movements like March on March are gaining momentum. Their rhetoric is becoming louder, their actions bolder, and the fear is, unless a clear, fair policy is enforced, this kind of protest could become a nationwide trend. The battle in Rosettenville wasn't just about a clinic. It was about identity, frustration, and the belief that no one is listening. South Africa stands at a crossroads. If the government ignores these signs, the crisis will deepen.